Japanese RPGs are seeing a renaissance with all the new games releasing, and in this video we'll be taking a look at the top 10 upcoming JRPGs coming in 2016 and beyond. Let's get right into this. Number 10, Valkyria Chronicles Remastered. Valkyria Chronicles was one of the most underrated games released on the PlayStation 3. Blending a unique story with excellent strategy gameplay, Valkyria Chronicles was a great JRPG, however it struggled to find commercial success. It did receive a second wind with a PC release back in 2014, and now it comes to the PlayStation 4 with updated visuals and trophies. If you never played Valkyria Chronicles, I highly recommend you keep your eye on the Remastered edition. It'll be released on May 17th for only $30. Number 9, Dragon Quest XI. Finally, a new mainline traditional entry into the Dragon Quest series. DQ11 continues the gameplay of the previous games in the series, where you explore a very vibrant and colorful world fighting various monsters. The game will actually be releasing on the 3DS and the PlayStation 4, with the 3DS version featuring a different art style, with deformed 3D graphics on the top screen and 16-bit sprites on the bottom. We still don't know much about DQ11, and at this point it isn't confirmed for a release stateside, but considering we got Dragon Quest Heroes, this game shouldn't be too far off. Number 8, Nioh. Nioh has been in the works for a very long time. The game was announced back in 2004 with a release expected in 2006. Obviously, things didn't pan out and the game went MIA for a while, but it was eventually re-revealed at the Tokyo Game Show in 2015. Nioh isn't like your typical bubbly JRPG, it's a historical action RPG being developed by Team Ninja. The game follows William, a samurai and the son of a Japanese lord during the Warring States period of 16th century Japan. The game resembles classic games such as Onimusha, while the gameplay seems very similar to Dark Souls. Samurai games have been relatively lacking in the last decade, so hopefully Nioh delivers when it releases this year on PS4. Number 7, I Am Setsuna. I Am Setsuna is the first game from Tokyo RPG Factory, a new JRPG-centric studio created by Square Enix. The game is a very traditional and old-school JRPG. You take control of a party of characters, explore a world in a top-down perspective, and you reach towns and dungeons by navigating the game's overworld. It's a classic JRPG in that if you played games of the past such as the older Final Fantasies, I Am Setsuna will probably be right up your alley. The game also has a gorgeous art style. I Am Setsuna is expected to release this summer on PC and PS4. Number 6, Star Ocean Integrity and Faithlessness. Star Ocean is also making a long-awaited comeback. The last time we saw a Star Ocean game was back in 2009 with The Last Hope. That game, while it was good, also did have a lot of issues with its poorly paced story and horrendous voice acting. Star Ocean 5 takes place between the second and third games, and the storytelling in the game is expected to be much better and more dynamic, as it'll be seamlessly transitioned with the gameplay. The real-time action battle system is retained, and as long as the story is on point, Star Ocean 5 should deliver when it's released this summer. Number 5, NIER Automata. NIER was another very underrated game on the PlayStation 3. It was a stylistic JRPG with a very mature tone, and while the game did have its share of imperfections, it was a very unique game. Now we have the follow-up, NIER Automata, being developed by Platinum Games. While this isn't a direct sequel to the original game, it's staying true to the spirit of the original, and since Platinum is developing the game, expect much better action gameplay, which was one of the major issues of the original game. Also expect the excellent music to be retained alongside the gorgeous aesthetics. NIER Automata is expected to release this year for PS4. Number 4, Persona 5. For a long time, Persona has been a very niche game series. The audience for the games were very small, but those that did play Persona really enjoyed it. Over the last few years, it seems as the series has been gaining more and more of a following, and what's funny is that we haven't seen a new mainline entry in the series in nearly 8 years. Now we have Persona 5, once again following the same premise of previous games. You play as a transfer student in a high school, things go awry and you start exploring dungeons and fighting monsters. But you still have to live through your standard high school life, going to classes, joining clubs, etc. That always keeps the gameplay fresh and varied, which has been one of the strengths of Persona. Persona 5 was originally expected to release in 2015, however a delay has pushed it back to sometime this year.
無事に出られるなんて思うな。
お前は人間なんかじゃない。
ゲスな欲望に取りつかれた最低の悪魔よ。
おい待てよ、俺って。
大物になるほど。
Number 3, Final Fantasy VII Remake. Final Fantasy VII is one of the most iconic video games of all time, and for a long time fans were clamoring for a remake. With the original game being released back in 1997 and on the PlayStation 1, the idea of playing the game on modern hardware was very enticing. But years would go by and we wouldn't hear anything on a possible remake. However, all of that changed last year at Sony's E3 conference. A remake for Final Fantasy VII was finally announced for the PlayStation 4. The visuals look absolutely outstanding, and while the gameplay has been changed quite a bit from a turn-based system to an action combat system, as long as it works well, you can't really complain. The one cause for concern is the announcement that the game would be episodic. Many will be very frustrated to hear that, but keep in mind that Final Fantasy VII is an enormous game. And if they really are trying to recreate everything with the modern visuals, maybe being separated to multiple games isn't a bad idea. For now, we'll just have to wait since we don't have a release date, but late 2017 seems likely. Number 2, Kingdom Hearts 3. This is another game that fans have been clamoring for. Kingdom Hearts and Kingdom Hearts 2 were two of the most beloved games ever. However, since the release of Kingdom Hearts 2, we've really only seen spin-off titles with games such as Dream Drop Distance. And while those games were good, at this point we really just want a full third game. We did see an announcement of the third game back in 2013, and since then we've gotten a few gameplay trailers and the game does look amazing. But we still have no idea when we're going to be able to play it. This year seems out of the question, so hopefully we get Kingdom Hearts 3 in 2017, but 2018 may be more likely. Number 1, Final Fantasy 15. It seems like JRPGs and waiting a long time is a common trend, and that's the case with Final Fantasy 15 as well. Originally announced back in 2006 as Final Fantasy Versus 13, this game has traveled a long road. At times we thought the game had been quietly cancelled, but those worries were quickly put to rest when the game was re-revealed as Final Fantasy 15. And now the game is closer than ever. This is arguably the most ambitious JRPG ever. With its ridiculously great graphics, fast-paced action gameplay, and what's expected to be a gigantic world to explore, Final Fantasy 15 is shaping up to be a phenomenal game. We do know that the game is finally releasing this year, barring any delays, and the current rumor calls for a September 30th release. Considering we've waited a decade at this point, another 6 months is perfectly fine with me. So that wraps up our countdown of the top 10 upcoming Japanese RPGs. What do you think? Do you agree with our list? Disagree? What games are you the most excited for? Let us know in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.